Imagine you are driving a car and you get flat tire in the middle of nowhere. You have spare wheel, jack, everything except for the spanner. Most of the problems in aptitude test are designed in the same way. You need the right tools to be able to succeed in these exams. Hi, I'm Shilpa, and in today's video, I'll take you through the 6 different techniques to solve quantitative aptitude questions in entrance exam. Now, this entrance exam could be CAT, GMAT, GRE, IPM, CLAT, or CUET. The problem with this entrance exam is that you have to solve the question within the time limit. So you need to know all possible tools. In fact, based on the context, you should be able to find out which method or which tool to be used. Now, please ensure that you stay till the end because I will be asking you questions to see whether you have really understood this technique. Before we start, let's understand the philosophy needed to solve these questions. If you have played Sudoku, you need both macro and micro approach to solve the questions. So you have a small 3x3 square and a large 3x3 square. So you need to balance between both. So it's basically the balance between macro and micro approach. So let's start with these 6 different techniques to solve questions in quantitative aptitude in entrance exam. Let's start with the first method, which is percentage as a tool. Percentage is essentially a tool which is used to compare. Let's take an example. Out of a total 1,250 students in a school, 45% are boys. If 20% of the boys and 30% of the girls in the school wear spectacles, then what percentage of the total students wear spectacles? Now let's say you have the options also here. So let's try solving this question. Usually if you take 1250 students into account, the calculation becomes lengthy. So here, if you use percentage as a tool, if you check what the question is asking you, it is asking you what percentage of the total students wear spectacles, right? So here you can consider the total students as 100, right? Because the question is asking you to find the percentage. So out of 100 students, you have 45% of 100, that is 45 boys, and remaining 55 girls. And we are interested only in the number of students who are wearing spectacles. Now, how many boys are wearing the spectacles? So 20% of 45. That is the number of boys who are wearing the spectacle. How many girls are wearing the spectacle? 30% of 55. So what is 20% of 45? 10% is 4.5. Double of 4.5, you get 9. How about 30%? 10% of 55 is 5.5. If I ask you what is 20% of 55, you will say that's just a double. So adding, I get 30% of 55 is equal to 16.5. So with a simple calculation, we got the total boys and girls. So added up, I get 25.5. So can I say in terms of percentage, we have 25.5% of the total students are wearing spectacles. So this question became really easy when you took the total number of students as 100. Moving on to our next method, which is backtrack method. Remember in school when you used to learn the alphabet A to Z, you were also taught Z to A, right? So yes, instead of the top-down approach, the bottom-up approach will be used in this question. So have a look at the question and try solving it on your own. I'll also give you the options. Putting options could be tricky because what if your answer is the last option? So what does the question say? There's a shopkeeper who plans to sell all his rice by the end of the day. He gives half kg rice free if the customer purchases half of whatever quantity of rice is available in his shop. He had 3 customers who took the deal, and by the time the 3rd customer comes and takes his free half kg, the shopkeeper had no rice left in the shop. So what is the original quantity of rice in the shop? Now, if you look carefully, initially, I don't know how much kg of rice he has, but towards the end, you have a constant, which is no rice is left. So I hope the language is clear. So some total quantity out of which half of total is taken by the first customer plus another half kg, right? So something is remaining. So from the remaining, again, half of remaining plus a half kg is taken by the second customer. So again, something else is remaining, and third customer takes from this remaining half or whatever is left plus half, and finally you were left with 0. So let's try to trace from 0. So before 0, can you tell me what happened? Of course, the third customer would have taken his half kg. That's how you got a 0. After the third customer has taken his half kg. Now before that, so when we were going in the direct approach, we were doing half. So in reverse method, you will do double. So what is double of half? 1 kg. 1 kg means the third customer had taken half kg, right? And the shopkeeper was left with half, which he gives us as free. So that's how he was left with no rice. So now go back to the second customer. What if the second customer had not taken that half? So 1 plus half is 3.5. Right? 1 plus half is, 1 by 2 or 3 by 2. So what happened if the second customer had not taken his half? So you would have doubled. That is 3 kg. So let's go back to the first customer. What if he had not taken that half? So 3 plus half, which is 3.5 or 7 by 2. What if the first customer had not taken his half? We would have had 7 kg. So with this method, easily we were able to get our answer. But yes, you need to have a very good grip. So you can try with the conventional method also. So let's say if 7 kg is there, so what happens? The first customer had taken 7 by 2 plus half, that free. So he had taken in fact 4 kg. So you were left with 3 kg in the shop. The second customer comes and take 3 by 2, half of 3 kg plus half, which is he had taken 2 kg, and the shopkeeper is left with 1 kg. So the third customer comes and he takes half plus that half, which was free. And that's how the shopkeeper was left with nothing. Right? So this is the backtrack method. Moving on to the next method, which is our substitution method. Now in entrance exam with multiple choice question, it is important that you are able to use the options while solving the question. Now the options provide valuable data. So let's try solving this question using the substitution method. So let's try this question. If P into Q into R is 1, what is the value of the expression? The easiest way to solve this question is by substituting. The easiest value which you can substitute is what? P is 1, Q is 1 and R is 1. So just see the left hand side. 1 upon 1 plus 1 plus 1, which is 1 by 3, plus 1 plus 1 plus 1, 1 by 3, plus 1 plus 1 plus 1, 1 by 3, which is 3 by 3, which is equal to 1. Now straight away don't go and mark the answer as option C. You have to substitute in each option. So the first option, if I substitute, I get 1 plus 1 plus 1, which is 3. This cannot be your answer. Second option is 1 upon 1 plus 1 plus 1, which is 1 by 3. Again, this cannot be your answer. And C could be a possible answer, but let's check D also. 1 plus 1 plus 1 is 3, which cannot be your answer. So with substitution, now it's not necessary that you only have to put P is 1, Q is 1, R is 1. You can substitute anything else also. Only thing mandatory is the product has to be 1. Moving on to the next method, which is pattern method. Just like in nature, there is pattern. Again, the numbers also follow pattern. So this is a question which had come in CUET once upon a time. Find the remainder when 4 raised to 96 is divided by 6. Now, are you supposed to know what is 4 raised to 96? Even if I give you a calculator, would you be able to compute what is 4 multiplied 96 times? Impossible, right? So how am I supposed to get that 4 raised to 96 as a number and then divide by 6, right? So what we do is we try to see a pattern. How do I see the pattern? I'll take some easy numbers, which is 4 raised to 1 divided by 6. I get 4 as a remainder. So if I have 4 square, which is 16. So if I divide 16 by 6, 6 2s are 12, 16 minus 12, the remainder is 4. What if I divide 4 cube by 6, which is 64? So if I divide 64 by 6, I'm interested in the remainder. So I get the remainder 4. Now that cannot be coincidence, right? So can I conclude that 4 raised to 96 divided by 6 will give me the remainder as 4? Let's just take one more power, 4 raised to 4, which is 256. If I divide 256 by 6, again I get the remainder 4. So even if I have the options, this method just gives me a very easy answer based on pattern. Moving on to the next method, which is option elimination. Sometimes we don't need to do the hard work of literally solving the question. So what if 3 options are eliminated? So can I simply declare the last remaining option as my answer? So the point is, can I stop at penultimate step and get my answer? So let's try this question. If x is minus half, which of the following has the smallest value? So you have the options over here. So rather than substituting minus 0.5 in each of the option, can I read x as negative? X is negative. And we are looking for smallest. Now first option, is it positive or negative? So 2 raised to minus a is a positive number. So the first option is definitely positive. How about the second option? 1 upon negative will be negative only. Third option, negative square becomes positive. Minus of minus becomes positive. So just because option A, option C and option D is ruled out, you can declare option B as your answer, right? The next method or the last method is the generalization method. So in this method, if a question is given, the whole idea is, can you generalize? Can you see the pattern and generalize the question and get an easy answer? So consider this question. We have set S, which constitutes of 2, 3, 4 till 2n plus 1, where n is a positive integer larger than 2007, where x is the average of odd integers in S and y is the average of the even integers in S. So the question is asking you, what is x minus y? And you have the following options. Now, rather than finding out the average of so many numbers, what we can do is we'll generalize, right? What if I take, rather than finding all odd integers in S, I'll take 2 odd integers in X. So the odd integers, let's take 3 and 5. Right. So what happens? What will be the average of 3 and 5? I get 4. And y is the average of the even integers. Right. So even integers, let's take 2 even integers, 2 and 4. So what is the value of y? Average 2 plus 4, 6 divided by 2, 3. So what is x minus y? X minus y, I get it as 1. Now let's take 3 numbers. Not necessary that. I have to generalize. I have to see whether the pattern works. So what if I take 3 odd? So that is 3, 5, 7. So what is the value of x? 5. Now take 3 even numbers, 2, 4, 6. So what is the average of 2, 4, 6? It is 4. So still you can see x minus y. I get the answer as 1. Right. So even if I take 4 odd and 4 even, I'll still get the same answer. So it's easy for us to solve. And with this, you can actually see that there will always be a gap of 1 between the odd and even. So whatever be the number of values, your answer would be constant. Now that you have gone through the 6 methods, I hope you will be able to solve questions based on this. Now, remember, the methods have to be used based on the context. So depending on the question, you have to decide which of the methods you can use it. Now, this comes only after lots of practice. Another thing really important to remember is the basic concepts should be strong. Only if your basic concepts are strong, then only you would be having the confidence to use this method. So let's try solving some questions based on these 6 methods. So before solving these questions, let's summarize the 6 methods once again. Method 1, percentage as a tool. Method 2, substitution. Third, pattern method. Fourth, backtracking method. Fifth, option elimination method. And the last one, generalization method. Now, based on these methods, try to solve the following questions. Ben, Chad, and Danny bought a bike for $60. Alan paid half of the amount paid by others. Alan paid half of the amount paid by others. Ben paid 1/3 of the amount paid by others. And Chad paid 1/4 of the amount paid by others. Now, rather than using the conventional method here, one of the best approach would be using percentage, right? So total percentage is 100. So how much did Alan pay? So if you see, others have paid, for example, if B, C, D had paid 2x, Alan had paid x. So essentially, can I say Alan had paid 1/3 of the total, that is 33.33% of the total amount. So 1/3 of total amount, which is 1/3 of 60. So Alan has paid $20. Try doing the same with Ben. So if A plus C plus D had paid 3y, Ben would have paid 1/3, which is y. So can I say Ben has paid 25% out of total 4, Ben pays 1. So 25% of total, which is $15. Similarly, Chad. So if you see, others have paid Z or 4Z. So Chad had paid Z. So can you see, Chad had paid 1/5 of total, which is 1/5 of $60, which is, you get 12. So adding 20, 15, 12, you get 47. So out of 60, $47 have been paid by Alan, Ben, and Chad. So how much did Danny pay? So Danny paid 60 minus 47, which is $13 for the bike. So rather than solving as a question on algebra, the percentage makes it easier to solve. So let's try another question. On your screen, under root of 4 plus under root of 4 minus under root of 4 plus, it goes on till infinity. Don't worry, I have the options given. So you have the options and you have the question over here. So which method would you use over here? You have the input, you have the output. So just like in case of artificial intelligence, it's just about connecting the input with the output, right? So let's eliminate the options over here. Option C is root 13 plus 1 divided by 2. So if you see the question, can I say under root of 4 plus something would be 2 point something? Right, under root of 4 plus something, definitely your answer would be like 2 point something. Because if I ask you what is under root of 4, you would have said 2. Now if I ask you under root of 4 plus something, you will say definitely a little more than 2. So look at the options. Root 13 minus 1 by 2. Now root 13 is what? It lies between root 9 and root 16. So can I say it lies between 3 and 4? So it is 3 point something minus 1, which is 2 point something divided by 2. So you get the answer as 1 point something, which cannot be your answer. We are looking for 2 point something. Can you have an answer 3? 3 is only possible had I had the question as 4 plus 5. If someone asks me under root of 9, now it's not possible that solving this I can get 5. So definitely option B is ruled out. How about option D? Let's try that. Root 13 will definitely be 3 point something, which cannot be your answer because your answer has to be 2 point something. So you can eliminate D. So by default, you can say answer is C, which is root 13 plus 1 divided by 2. Root 13 is 3 point something plus 1, which is 4 point something, divide by 2. Your answer is 2 point something. Had you solved with a conventional method, it would have been degree 4 and it would have been cumbersome. So here we easily get our answer as option number C. This question had appeared in CUET. So let's try one more question. This is also taken from CUET. So 3 friends went to a restaurant and saw a bowl of mints. Now Sita took 1/3, returned 4 back. Fatima took 1/4 of whatever was left. Remember, we've already done a similar question in one of the methods, a backtracking method. So I have given you the options and just read the question and what do you think? Would you use the same backtracking method over here? This is how the question had appeared in CUET. So the options were 38, 31, 41 and none of these. If you tried backtracking method, then it is definitely not recommended in this question. Look at the options. Backtracking is if the options were close. In this case, 38, 31, 41 and none of these, you need not even waste your time solving using the backtracking method. So if you see, Sita had taken 1/3 of original mint. So can I be sure your answer has to be multiple of 3? 38 is not a multiple, 31 is not a multiple and 41 is also not a multiple. So you can straight away declare the answer as D. You need not even solve with the backtracking method. So based on the context, you have to decide which method to use. So that's all for now, folks. Keep solving questions with different approaches. All the very best and please don't forget to subscribe to the channel.